So, is Bitcoin going to keep crashing? So, if from an article from Stock Sharks, right? Bitcoin plummets as 9 billion Mount Gox payout begins and government selling adds pressure. So, what was it? Um, so recently, Mount Gox, which at one point was the largest cryptocurrency exchange, went bankrupt in February 2014 after a series of hacks stole nearly 1 million Bitcoin from its customers. A decade later, Mt. Gox on Friday has started to repay some of the 9 billion it owes to its creditors and customers via Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, according to a statement from the company. And also, meanwhile, recent Bitcoin transfers from wallets associated with the German and US governments suggest both are liquidating some of their Bitcoin stash. So, in a way, Bitcoin right now is sort of crashing due to these two factors. Right now, Mt. Gox, they're paying their customers with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, right? And there's some customers that are like, well, I don't believe in Bitcoin anymore, right? I'd rather just sell, right? And so customers, uh, probably some of them are still holding their payments from Mt. Gox. Some are probably selling because a lot of people, you know, since what happened with Mt. Gox, right? The series of hacks, right? That where it says after a series of hacks stolen nearly 1 million Bitcoin from its customers. In a way, it kind of puts fear in people because they don't know, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't invest into Bitcoin because what happens if Mount Gox didn't repay me my money, right? And so in a way, like, it puts fear in people, and so those people that are getting paid back their money when they were in Mount Gox with their Bitcoin investment, right? They're selling. They don't want anything to do with Bitcoin anymore in a way. And so right now, also another factor is that the German and the US government are liquidating some of their positions of Bitcoin right now. And so, in a way, right now, it's kind of, how do you say, there's some pressure on Bitcoin right now because, the government is selling. And then, Mt. Gox customers, some are holding, some are selling, right? And so, if you look on the graph, right, on the daily, you can see that right now Bitcoin is at $55,063. And as I'm talking right now, Bitcoin is crashing. Uh, yeah, it's just fluctuating, really. And but if you look at the previous support level, which was 54,997, if Bitcoin can somehow regain support at that level, then possibly Bitcoin could jump back to an uptrend in a way. But if it fails to retest that level of 54,997, then Bitcoin could keep crashing down. And then if it fails the next support level of 53,517, then obviously Bitcoin could keep crashing down. And just looking at, at the graph right now, it's under the 9, the 20, the 50, the 180, and the 200-day moving average. And usually when it's under the 200, well, when stocks, right, are under the 200-day moving average, that signals a bearish trend. That signals a bearish trend. And usually it puts fear into investors, and usually investors don't want to invest into a stock that's under the 200-day moving average. In this case, right now, Bitcoin, is under all the, moving averages. Especially it's under the 200-day moving average. So, most people that are holding on to Bitcoin are probably like scared. They don't want to hold on to Bitcoin right now. They just want to sell for a profit and wait until, whatever opportunity they feel like is a good opportunity to buy into Bitcoin again. And so right now, if looking at it on the weekly chart, right, it's below the 9 and the 20-day moving average, right? And like I said, if it fails to retest the level of 53,517, then I feel in a way that Bitcoin could possibly touch the 50-day moving average. And the 50-day moving average reads 47,611. Obviously, it's fluctuating, right? But that's the level that possibly Bitcoin could touch in the 47,000 range. Historically, um, Bitcoin in July, right, does well in a way. So looking at 2024, okay, 2023 July, Bitcoin was down 4%. 2022, it was up 16%. 2021, it was up 18%. And then 2020, Bitcoin was up 24%. And it's, I mean, it's all, how do you say, like Bitcoin, in a way, it does good in July. But with the news of, Mt. Gox customers getting, paid back from Mt. Gox, after, when they were getting hacked, right? These customers, they don't want nothing with Bitcoin, right? And so these customers don't want anything with Bitcoin, and so they'll sell their, they'll liquidate their position because they don't believe in Bitcoin anymore. But the people that do believe in Bitcoin, they're holding regardless, right? They're just glad that they got their money back after the series of hackings that happened at Mt. Gox, right? And so then you got the US government and the German government, liquidating some of their positions of Bitcoin, right? And, you know, that's the government in a way, they don't care. They can print money as many times as they want, right? But eventually that's going to catch up to them. And, the dollar could collapse. I think I don't know. I don't know anything about the dollar. But anyway, that adds selling pressure to Bitcoin right now because, you know, and then, well, looking at the fear gauge, right, of crypto, right now it's at 28. And usually when Bitcoin is at, or when the crypto market is in fear territory, that usually signals that, we're in a bearish market or in a bearish cryptocurrency market in a way. And so there's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable holding on to Bitcoin right now, right? But everyone has to remember, right, that, Bitcoin historically, after halving, right, when it halved in 2012, it went up. In 2016, Bitcoin halved, it went up. 2020, Bitcoin halved, and it went up. And then you got 2024, Bitcoin halved, and we, historically, we expect that Bitcoin, should go up, having seen, uh, you know, we all believe that um, Bitcoin repeats history, right? Or we all believe history always repeats itself in a way, right? And I totally believe that, right? I feel like Bitcoin is the new internet. I feel like Bitcoin is the new currency that, in a way, it will be the new future, in a way. Or I guess you could say it is the new future. You got big institutions buying in to Bitcoin, you know, like BlackRock and etc., right? And you got ETF Bitcoins on the market. There's people obviously that want part of Bitcoin. And then tomorrow, I think there's gonna be a release of the Ethereum ETF. And so basically, the crypto market is pretty much unexplored, but it's unexplored by a lot of people. And a lot of people don't know how Bitcoin works, but they still want in because they don't want to miss out on the new trend or on the new, you know, and on the new, I don't know, financial investment, right? And historically speaking, right, Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P 500. And a lot of people believe, Bitcoin's the future, I'd rather invest into the Bitcoin than the S&P 500. Me personally, I would invest into Bitcoin than rather invest it into the S&P 500, right? And but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, right now I feel like Bitcoin could potentially crash maybe to 47,000. That's just a prediction. We will see what will happen in the upcoming days, right? Some stocks that I really want to go over with is what is it? I'll just keep it short. Um, UNH, right? It's at 488 right now, and the low was 484 on Friday, July 5th. And my personal entry, if I were to get into UNH, would be around the 484 level, if not around the 480 level, right? And and if it goes further down, I would wait until it touches the 180-day moving average, which is 466. And if it touches possibly the 200-day moving average, I would get in at 451, right? And the next stock that I feel like is also a good opportunity is Johnson and Johnson. Let's look at Johnson and Johnson. Okay, Johnson and Johnson right now, it finished at 146.48 on July 5th on a Friday, right? And a personal entry point that I would get into Johnson and Johnson would be at 145 or 144. And yeah, that's the personal entry points that I would get into Johnson and Johnson. And then the last stock that I would get in is obviously Pepsi. Okay, last stock is Pepsi. Right now, Pepsi finished at 164.39 on July 5th on a Friday. And a good entry point that I think I could get in, I feel like a good entry point that I could get into Pepsi is at around 162 or 162 or 163. Either one. I feel like those are personally I think those are good entry points to get into Pepsi. All right. And last but not least, uh Home Depot. Home Depot. So Home Depot finished at 334 on July 5th on a Friday. And as you can see, it's somewhat, yeah, it did bounce off basically off the 200-day moving average, right? And so I feel like Bitcoin, I'm sorry, Home Depot, uh, I feel like 330 is a good entry point to get into Home Depot. If not, 332 or 331 is a good entry point to get into Home Depot. And if it keeps falling, the next support level would be around 324 And if it falls below 324, the next entry point would be around 322 or 321. But yeah, those are the stock picks that I feel like are good opportunities for, if you don't like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, right? Stocks, those companies I mentioned, their revenue is obviously like super good, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I feel like Bitcoin right now could um, keep crashing in a way, but we will see what other news will happen. And I feel like in a way, the Ethereum ETF is gonna probably make Bitcoin investors. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the Ethereum ETF is gonna motivate some of the Bitcoin investors that are investing into the Bitcoin ETF move a little bit of more money into the Ethereum ETF as well. So that could possibly signal also like a little downwards trend for well, not for Ethereum, but for Bitcoin. But we will see what happens. We will see what happens tomorrow. So as always, take care and I'll see you in the next video. As always, this is not financial advice and I wish you the best of luck as always. Hopefully you guys do well paper trading this week. Hopefully you guys do good trading or investing, right? Whether it be paper trading, right? Practice always makes perfect. And also, if you want to sign up with Webull, you can sign up with my Webull link in the description below. And if you sign up with Webull and deposit a penny, you get 3 shares of whatever Webull gives you, whatever stocks, whatever 3 stocks that Webull decides to give you. So, as always, the link is in the description below. If you want to sign up with my Webull link in the description, as always, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. As always, take care and have a good one. Take care, take care, guys. Bye.